Donald Trump's return to the White House in 2025 sent shockwaves across the globe, particularly among immigrant communities both within the United States and abroad. Having campaigned on a platform of strict immigration control during his initial foray into presidential politics, Trump's second act promised a continuation of his hardline approach. His inauguration speech echoed the nationalistic rhetoric of his past, emphasizing a commitment to putting America first and curtailing both legal and illegal immigration. For undocumented immigrants residing in the United States, a sense of dread settled in, as they braced themselves for the impact of Trump's policies. Trump's return marked a stark departure from the policies of the previous administration, signaling a shift towards stricter enforcement and a less welcoming environment for immigrants. The former president had attempted to roll back some of the Trump-era immigration measures, but many remained in place, creating a complex and often confusing landscape for immigrants navigating the U.S. immigration system. With Trump back at the helm, the future of immigration policy seemed destined for a return to the restrictive measures that had defined his first term. Trump's victory, while not entirely unexpected, left many wondering about the future of the country's immigration system and its impact on millions of lives. His return to power served as a stark reminder of the deep divisions within American society regarding immigration, setting the stage for what promised to be a tumultuous period marked by heated debates and significant policy changes. As the world watched, the United States embarked on a new chapter in its immigration story, one characterized by uncertainty, anxiety, and a renewed focus on border security. One of the most immediate and significant changes under Trump's second presidency was the intensification of interior enforcement efforts. Trump wasted no time in signing a series of executive orders aimed at increasing the apprehension and deportation of undocumented immigrants residing within the United States. These orders empowered Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, to expand its operations, leading to a surge in workplace raids, traffic stops, and home visits targeting individuals suspected of being in the country illegally. The message was clear. The Trump administration was determined to make it increasingly difficult for undocumented immigrants to live and work in the shadows. Trump's executive orders broadened the criteria for expedited removal, a process that allows for the swift deportation of individuals without a hearing before a judge. Previously reserved for those apprehended near the border, expedited removal could now be applied to undocumented immigrants who had been in the country for less than 2 years, regardless of their criminal history or family ties. This expansion of expedited removal powers, coupled with a significant increase in ICE funding and resources, created a climate of fear and uncertainty among immigrant communities. The Trump administration argued that these measures were necessary to restore law and order and deter future illegal immigration. They pointed to the increasing number of undocumented immigrants residing in the United States, claiming that these individuals posed a threat to national security and drained valuable resources from American citizens. However, critics argued that the administration's policies were inhumane and ineffective, tearing apart families and causing widespread panic among law-abiding immigrants who had been living and working in the United States for years. Central to Trump's immigration agenda was his unwavering commitment to securing the U.S.-Mexico border. Reviving his signature campaign promise, Trump doubled down on his pledge to build a wall along the southern border, arguing that it was essential to stemming the flow of illegal immigration and drug trafficking. While portions of the wall had been constructed during his first term, the project had been plagued by delays and funding disputes. Undeterred, Trump vowed to complete the wall, diverting funds from other government agencies, including the military, to finance its construction. Beyond the physical barrier, the Trump administration implemented a series of policies aimed at making it more difficult for asylum seekers and other migrants to enter the United States. The administration reinstated the controversial Remain in Mexico policy, forcing asylum seekers to wait in dangerous Mexican border towns while their cases were processed in U.S. courts. It also moved to limit the number of asylum applications accepted each day at ports of entry, creating massive backlogs and forcing desperate migrants to seek alternative, often perilous routes into the country. The administration argued that these measures were necessary to deter frivolous asylum claims and prevent the exploitation of loopholes in the immigration system. However, Human rights groups condemned the policies, arguing that they violated U.S. and international law by denying vulnerable individuals the right to seek asylum and exposing them to violence and exploitation in Mexico. The combination of physical barriers and restrictive policies created a formidable obstacle for migrants hoping to reach the United States, leaving many stranded in precarious situations and fueling a growing humanitarian crisis along the border. In a move that sent shockwaves through the legal community and sparked outrage among immigrant rights advocates, the Trump administration took aim at birthright citizenship, a fundamental pillar of American identity enshrined in the 14th Amendment. Trump had long expressed skepticism about birthright citizenship, which grants automatic citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil, regardless of their parents' immigration status. In one of his most controversial acts, Trump issued an executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship for children born to undocumented immigrants and those with temporary legal status. The order, immediately challenged in court, ignited a fierce legal battle over the constitutionality of such a move and the president's authority to unilaterally alter long-standing interpretations of the 14th Amendment. The administration defended its actions, arguing that birthright citizenship had become a magnet for illegal immigration, incentivizing pregnant women to enter the country illegally to give birth to anchor babies who could later sponsor their families for legal status. They also claimed that the 14th Amendment was never intended to grant citizenship to the children of those who were not subject to U.S. jurisdiction. Opponents countered that the administration's interpretation of the 14th Amendment was deeply flawed, and that ending birthright citizenship would have far-reaching consequences, creating a permanent underclass of stateless individuals and undermining the very fabric of American society. In an effort to address national security concerns, new policies were introduced. These measures aimed to tighten the borders and restrict future arrivals. The administration believed that by doing so, they could better protect the nation from potential threats. Critics, however, argued that these policies were too harsh and discriminatory. The debate over the balance between security and openness continued to divide public opinion. During Donald Trump's presidency, the lives of undocumented immigrants faced unprecedented challenges. Policies aimed at reducing illegal immigration led to heightened fear and uncertainty within immigrant communities. Families were separated, and many lived in constant fear of deportation. The administration's approach left a lasting impact on the lives of countless individuals, making their daily existence fraught with anxiety and instability. Aspiring immigrants encountered significant hurdles under Trump's administration. Stricter visa regulations and increased vetting processes made it more difficult for individuals to enter the United States. The administration's policies also affected refugees and asylum seekers, who found it increasingly challenging to find safety and new beginnings in America. These measures reshaped the landscape for those dreaming of a better life in the United States. On the global stage, Trump's immigration policies sent ripples across nations. Allies and adversaries alike reacted to the administration's stance on immigration. Some countries adjusted their own policies in response, while others voiced criticism and concern. The United States' image as a land of opportunity was scrutinized, and the international community closely watched the unfolding changes. Even after Donald Trump's presidency, the effects of his immigration policies continue to be felt. The long shadow of his administration's decisions influences current debates and policies on immigration. Communities, lawmakers, and advocates grapple with the legacy left behind, striving to find a balance between security and compassion. The journey to address these complex issues is ongoing, reflecting the enduring impact of Trump's tenure on the nation's approach to immigration.